brought the cup in, and you can imagine the kids looking at this huge piece of silverware. So I put it on the table, and the teacher said, "Does anybody know this man?" And one little kid stood up and he said, "Did you win the lotto, mister?"
And here he goes again, inside McStravick, another brilliant run, and he's there again.
I've never seen him cry before, and he started to tear in his eye, and I started crying. I said, "Oh, good, okay, here we go."
A great save! A wonderful save!
Are you telling me the manager of the All-Ireland champions of 1995 didn't know he won it?
Being honest about it, yes.
The second half specialist of the 95 championship. And Canavan has put it over the bar again.
He's a young lad, but he's an old head on young shoulders. We talked about winning this All-Ireland on the night of last year's defeat by Down.
But Sam Maguire is back by the Liffey.
I'm here in the fishing port of Skerries in North County Dublin. The tide is out, the fishing boats are in. This is the home, not the boats, but it's the hometown of Dublin captain John O'Leary, a man who began his championship career in the summer of 1980. And in the summer of 1995 had completed 16 consecutive championship seasons and 66 consecutive championship matches. That is a record. 2 All-Ireland medals in his collection, 1983 and 1995. And on a score of 10 scale, I asked him to compare the 2 years.
You know, this year, 1995, I'd have to rate as 10, and 83 probably as a 9. I was 22 at the time, came very quickly, unexpectedly really that year, and played in 84, 85, so that seemed to be the way things were going to be. You know, championship, Ireland finals every other year, and then we waited 7 years for 92, failed then, failed last year, and eventually won it this year, so this is definitely the best.
The Sam Maguire Cup, the most famous trophy in Irish sport, has come back to Dublin after an interval of 12 years. On Church and General National League final day, though, the writers, like the bookies, may have been thinking of a different destination for the championship honours.
Kieran McKee for the corner back. Eamon Burns drifting into a good position, looking for another score, an enterprising kick from an acute angle, and he's put it over the bar. Gary Coleman's his marker, normally very, very tight indeed. Tony Scullion hesitated. It's Manus Boyle who nips in, a chance to put the sides level, and it's 2 points apiece. Back to Tohil, who'll have to be much tighter marked in the second half. Gary Coleman coming forward, scampering away from a number of challenges. The last one by Martin Gavigan. It's high and it's over the bar. That's a great run by Gary Coleman, the left corner back. Made a good 40 yards, and there's 2 between them. Beautifully held there by full forward Seamus Downey. Great full forward play, linking up here with Dermot Heaney. Heaney's control, and that's gone over the bar. A rapid response to the Donegal point by Dermot Heaney. This is cut out by John Joe Doherty to Declan Bonner, probably playing for a place in next week's championship match against the All-Ireland champions Down. A good deep ball sails over the bar. Donegal now, to rescue this match, have to get a goal. Damien Barton has it. That unbeaten record of Seamus Downey and Anthony Toll at Croke Park looks like being maintained. Donegal down to 14 as we watch Seamus Downey notch his first point. Donegal were down to 14 because Matt Gallagher was on the ground.
Derry were immediately installed as favourites for the Sam Maguire Cup after that league success. But they should have been warned of shocks in store when defending All-Ireland champions Down failed to survive the very first hurdle.
Good fetch by Greg McCartan, could hold on good. The ball is greasy. That's Mark Crossan. Beat an old Hegarty. Good play, Hegarty. Now can he make the incisive pass? Here's Manus Boyle. Lovely play by Boyle and a great score. His second of the game. Donegal's third. It's all tied up at Clovis. It's Conor Deegan who presents himself. Back to McGill. Looks for Linden. Good battle this between Barry McGowan and Mickey Linden. Linden tries a little shuffle. This time he's made the ground. Over the bar, Mickey Linden. His first score of the 1995 championship. But the Hegarty started up again. This is Paddy of the Clan. Inside him is Eamon Burns. He's got a shooting chance here. And he takes it with a lot of aplomb. Declan Bonner is getting ready. Meantime, they launch another attack. Donegal using the space and the extra man really well. Here's Paddy Hegarty. Nice play by Hegarty. Chances on. That's a great score. And he's had a splendid match. This is Tony Boyle. Burns, the full-back, slips. Just he was going to make a challenge. Noel Hegarty. Across the goal and in the back of the net from Manus Boyle.
Final score, Donegal 1 goal 12 points, down 9 points. A week later, Derry eliminated Armagh 117-10 with one wonderful goal to remember.
Watch Anthony Toll. Ground opens up ahead of him and comes to Henry Downey, the centre back.
Tyrone made their Ulster entrance on June the 4th at Irvinstown, County Fermanagh, and got a great game from the home team, for whom Shane King scored 7 points. But there was simply no holding Peter Canavan as a maker and a taker of scores.
Faye Devlin, the Tyrone defender, left in Gallagher's wake. This is a good run by young Mark. Now can they get anything out of this? And it's in the net. McCreesh put it in. Cross the ball in. Colin McCreesh. He's got Shane King. The only unmarked player he's got is McCreesh to his left, so he's got to go it alone. Is he good enough? He is. That's a super point by young Shane King. It's Mark Gallagher inside to Shane King. Shane King, the scoring star so far for Fermanagh. Right foot, and this time left foot. Left side, this time right side. Pick your angle, you pick your man. He's had a great start. Jody Gormley Tyrone. Sean McLaughlin has survived that injured shoulder of earlier on. Back to Canavan, Peter. Logan wants it square. Canavan still has him as an option. Uses Jody Gormley instead. Gormley sees the target, tries to get it inside, it breaks down to Peter Canavan. Peter Canavan, the ball across the fist, and a goal! It's in the net from Long. Stephen Long has put it there. Are now on a roll, and it's Jody Gormley with Sean McLaughlin breaking in his right. Pulls away the cover, plays it to Canavan. Canavan has Gormley in his immediate left. Yes, Canavan running by him, but it's still the excellent Canavan. What a football! What a football! And here's Peter Canavan again. Now, he's got lots of options on, and he picks a very sensible one. That of his brother Pascal. Oh, Errigal Tyrone and Canavan Brotherhood, and another score for Tyrone. Paddy Medlenan, another one has played well. Nice dummy crossover there to leave him the space. That's very good football. Lovely crossover between Canavan and Medlenan.
Lovers of good goals will have enjoyed Peter Riley's performance for Cavan against Antrim at Breffni Park.
It's a good break by Riley. What a good piece of football. Oh, what a goal. That is spectacularly brilliant by Peter Riley. Looks inside for Adrian Lamb. Adrian Lamb making it to Riley, who got that spectacular goal early on. And here he goes again inside McStravick. Another brilliant run. And he's there again. That is wonderful football by Peter Riley.
Riley played in contact lenses until...
Don't tell me he's looking for the contact lens. Looking for a needle in a haystack. Looking for a contact lens on the football field is pretty much mission impossible. This game is far from over, despite the 2-5, the 3-point scoreline. Why do I say that? They've got it. They've got it. Because in the minor game, Antrim came from a hopeless cause to almost snatch it. Cavan lead the match, and what's more, they're ahead in contact lenses.
Donegal, the conquerors of All-Ireland champions down, were red-hot favourites to beat Monaghan at Ballybuffet. But again, another shock in Ulster.
Shoveling on him, no foul. Now breaks to Gregory Flanagan. Flanagan faced by John Joe Doherty, knocks it back to Declan Lockman. And Gary Walsh went for it, but it came off the angle, it's in the net. And Declan Lockman not a renowned striker, it's got to be said. Well,
Yes, another shock all right, and it wasn't over with those in the province of Ulster. To Clonus, St Tiernach's Park in the first of the Ulster semi-finals. And a shock opening. Tyrone losing 2 players, sent off. 2 men down, 3 points down at half-time. But you ain't seen nothing yet.
Canavan to Sean McLaughlin. McLennan has come back, cut back inside to make himself available. Now Kieran Corr looks for the target. Yes, he's got it. A real skipper's point for Corr. 10 minutes gone and we really have the game in our hands here. McGarity to McLaughlin. Just behind McLaughlin is Peter Canavan. He came very deep to find space and it's worked. Oh, terrific piece of play by the elegant Canavan. Oh, that's wonderful football. And what a footballer. We've said it so often before, but if ever a sentence bears repeating, it's this. Peter Canavan is some footballer. Every ball in this game is hard won, I can tell you that. Now, Eamon Burns. That's close to the upright, but that's a good score as far as I'm concerned. And it goes from Canavan. What an effort. What a terrific effort. And what a footballer again. Drops out to Jody Gormley. Back to Peter Canavan, the main man. It's the equaliser. Peter Canavan, this inspiring figure of Tyrone. Kieran Loughran. This is terrific heart by Tyrone. Not to mention a big dollop of skill as well. That's Johnny McGurk with the ball carrier. And a great ball in. And this Tyrone team with Sean McLaughlin sending it in. A great point. Well kept in. His foot went out of play, but the ball didn't. It's Stephen Lawn. Now he needs support. He needs it quickly. He's got it. Jody Gormley for the lead. Yes! It's the lead for Tyrone.
Old rivals in Ulster. One of the oldest pairings in the country, Cavan against Monaghan, in the second of the Ulster semi-finals. And after defeating Donegal, the team that beat the All-Ireland champions down, Monaghan were the favourites in this one. But again, the bookies were wrong.
Feeding Peter Duffy. That's his second point. That's Monaghan's second point. Oh, great pass and a terrific fetch. Now it's John Brady. Excellent block by Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy played splendidly in Ballybuffet. Now Fintan Cal from Monaghan, for Gavin. Looks for it. He's got it. Aidan Waters stealing a foot or two. Plays a little one inside to the centre half back Aidan Connolly. He to Stephen King. Stephen King flying one up looking for Fintan Cal. Trying to isolate the full back. He's inside King. Here's a goal chance for Cavan. Yes! Fintan Cal. Cavan come back again. It's Peter Riley. It's over the bar. 2 goals the last day, 1 point this day. Off the post as the keeper dived full length for it, and the Cavan fans breathe a collective sigh of relief. That's Frank McEnany lofting it in. Declan Smith going for it with John Donlan. Down to Declan Lockman, trying to force his way in. Good point by Lockman. He really had to work for that one. Fintan Cal skips away from King. Good run this by Cal. Now he's bearing down. He's got John Brady inside him. He goes for the score and he gets it. 1 goal and 2 points for Fintan Cal this afternoon.
Meantime in Leinster, Westmeath had beaten Wexford. Meath had overcome Offaly in another championship season for Colm O'Rourke.
Colm O'Rourke, there it is. Goodbye, Offaly. Hello, Colm O'Rourke.
Measuring the pass and attack very prudently, Loud. Kelly done everything well so far. He's got another point.
Colin Kelly scored 7 points for Louth when they beat Kildare at Newbridge. And Meath had a huge 17-point win over Longford.
After good support play by Brian Stafford.
Wicklow defeated Westmeath by 6 points.
Loose marking, this is Colin Day, surely a point. And that's the difference between the teams at the moment.
And Dublin saw off Louth with 8 points to spare on the day that Jason Sherlock made his championship debut.
He came to the squad there last year and played in a couple of league games, and he got a great goal against Kerry in his first game. And I think after that, the people of Dublin just took to him, and anything he did, you know, was going to be good, so to speak.
Good character, you know, like he got a lot of attention, he got a bit of stick now, particularly from myself. We shared the dressing room with a couple of other lads, and you know, there was always a bit of banter going on as to like what's happening next, like when are you making the record, or when are you signing for soccer, or the Harlem Globetrotters looking for you. So like there was always a bit of banter with him.
You knew it wouldn't be easy against Colin Kelly and company.
Well, Colin Kelly, you know, and the rest of the Louth players, you know, they're a good team, and I think they're under new management this year as well, so we didn't really know what to expect, how they're going to perform. We had played them last year and 2 years previous as well. They've never really lived up to the expectations that people up in Louth would have, but they've always given us a reasonably tough game. At the end of the day, I think we bet them by 8-9 points, and it was very satisfying because we scored 19 points, which was 19 scores rather than 3 goals and whatever.
And Charlie Redmond's jersey was being well and truly tugged by Peter Fitzpatrick. Free very quickly taken, nicely inside there, back here, and put over the bar by a very alert Mick Galvin. Picking out Brian Steins, who remained forward, a couple of options open for him. That ran on well. That's inside for Keith Barr, towards Mick Galvin. Back it goes again towards Paul Clark, and eventually put over the bar. Paul Beelan playing it inside here, and this is where Keith Galvin pops up, ostensibly the right corner back for Brian Steins, going for the score off the post and over the bar. An impressive kick there by the midfielder Brian Steins. This is broken up here to Vinnie Murphy. Can he get more into the game? Vinnie Murphy going for a point, and he does so. Well, that's exactly what the Dublin management and fans I'm sure have been calling for. Brian Steins, a judicious use of the hand pass inside to Jason Sherlock. First taste of the action, closed down by Jerry Kern. Going back there as well, Peter Fitzpatrick for Louth. But it's a Louth defence that's being carved open right now. Once again into Sherlock, pulled down, penalty. O'Donnell against Clark, 7 points to 1. A great save, a wonderful save. Niall O'Donnell has kept Louth in this championship match. Jerry Kern waiting, winning the free kick, taking it quickly himself. Oh, it's a goal! A goal by Colin O'Hanlon. It's exactly what the Louth following has wanted, and it's exactly what the game requires. Some restructuring by Dublin. They've yet to get motoring for the second half. That's in towards Stephen White. Stephen White breezing in here on John O'Leary is like last year, but this year he scored! A second goal for Louth, and it's Stephen White who gets it! Referee was nicely positioned, and here's Desi Farrell again, orchestrating everything right now from the centre half forward position, and it's kicked over the bar. Broken down by Ali MacDonald, but only to a waiting dub. It's Charlie Redmond who faces the target, going forward, menacingly as ever, and he knocks it over the bar. Are Louth to go back to their ragged nature once again, having looked so positive in the opening 15 minutes of this half, but Desi Farrell destroying them. Inside again to Charlie Redmond, the loose man inside is Mick Galvin, an easy enough kick from Mick, and over the bar. 3 unanswered points.
Laois beat Carlow after a disputed point, forced to replay. The Leinster semi-finals, Meath were 14 points too good for Wicklow.
say that Wicklow might be coming back. It's to Colm O'Rourke. Here's the goalless chance.
And Dublin beat Laois at Navan as one boot Sherlock became a national name.
Laois was probably our toughest test, and talking to most of the lads, I'm sure they'll tell you that Laois provided the sternest test, and we were very, very worried going into that game.
Paul Beelan and Tony Marr between them. Desi Farrell being hit by Dennis Conroy, but he gets away from him. Still Desi Farrell. Difficult angle, and he puts it over the bar.
It was the most unusual and quality score. It's incredible, and actually it was so well hit. Hitting a football with your bare foot is not, or your stocking foot is not.
Yeah, but he didn't stutter at all.
No.
Because it means one leg was shorter than the other at that moment.
Yeah, I know, it was a tremendous strike, but he's terribly well balanced as a player.
Yeah.
Comes across to Jim Gavin. Jason Sherlock wants it in the corner. And he gets inside. This is where he's dangerous. Oh, what a goal. He lost the boat. He gets the applause. The one chance that he's got in the match. He can go back for the boot because the ball is in the back of the Laois net. A wonderful ball from the substitute Jim Gavin. He cut inside like a knife through butter, and before you knew it, Laois were taking it.
The Connacht Championship began with Sligo and Galway needed a replay to survive. Roscommon went to Ruislip and beat London. Next up were the defending champions Leitrim on their home ground at Carrick-on-Shannon.
Fullback. Quarterback there having to contest. A ball falling down nicely from McLaughlin. Great save by goalkeeper McGinley. And he's in after it again. And somehow they get away with it. It's going to be a 45. Colin McGlynn. Into space. Picked up by Liam Conlon. Looking for an equalising point. He's put it over the bar. And it's 4 points apiece. Aidan Rooney. Prodigious scorer in the pass. Back to Kieran. Kieran puts it over. That could be a vital score. Knocked into space. Difficult one there for Kieran McGovern to take. He's kept going forward. It's Kieran McGovern, the substitute, and he's tapped it over the bar, and now there are two between them. They have to go for a goal here, or perhaps a point. A point will tie it up. Sean up the player, looking for the equaliser. Is it on its way? Yes, it is!
Point by the pair. Wonderful score.
The kick by Neil Finnegan. Where's it gone? It's gone!
Neil Finnegan's winner came in injury time. Mayo had 4 points to spare over Roscommon in the second Connacht semi-final. Then we came to the 23rd of July, the day of 3 provincial finals. First, the Connacht decider at Turin.
Off the mark by Mayo's John Casey. This is Kevin O'Neill. That's a lovely ball inside. There's a chance here of a goal, but he takes his points. Good play by Mayo. And certainly Paul Cunny will be satisfied with that early score. When Walsh plays well, Galway seems to play well. And they say the same thing about their captain, Jeff Allen. Ken Mortimer. Lovely, skillful player, but he needs support. Val Daly has made himself available. And Val Daly is on form this afternoon in Tube. His second point of the Connacht final, both from play. Ross Mannion did well.
Galway are playing with a great attitude. They never say die attitude, and they're fighting for everything.
Jeff Allen will have Val Daly outside to have another pot of goal and another point. Simplicity in motion, and really Mayo, if they know their football, which I'm sure they do along the sideline, they will tell their players to do exactly what Galway are doing. Daly knocked away from him. It's out to Tommy Wilson. It's going to be a superb point if it does reach the target, and it does. After 23 seconds of play in the second half, Tommy Wilson gets his second point of the Connacht final. Certainly Mayo have been doing well around midfield area now at the moment. Corey Brogan hitting a ball which is going superbly over the bar. And that's 2 very good points for Mayo, and it gives them real hope, real life in this Connacht final. Kevin Cahill trying to block the path to goal. Super effort if it goes over. Great point for Galway. Alan Mulholland. Galway go forward in numbers. Still Galway. Tomas Tierney got a belt as he put that over the bar. Waiting for it while they're coming out to meet him. Pat Fallon has to try and work his way all the way through, takes a shot, and there's a goal. Ray Dempsey the scorer, and it puts a respectable look on the scoreboard.
The Munster final was played in Killarney between old, traditional Gaelic football rivals, Cork and Kerry.
Raiding, and that's a goal! A great start! And it's Eamon Breen who's come up from wing back. What a goal start that was. Kerry take the lead. Just 2 minutes gone. Spotting that Stephen O'Brien had gone forward, and Kerry will remember him from last year's championship semi-final. They were leading by 5 points with 10 minutes to go. And that's Niall Cahalane who swings it over the bar. Cork's first score. Don Davis the taker towards Larry Tompkins. Back again, Stephen Calden. Nice intricate play, measured build up, and that's Kieran O'Sullivan who puts it over the bar. Bingo Driscoll now. Into space, who's there? Popping up is Jeannie Farrell. Farrell looking for a score for Kerry. They need one, and he's found the range, and the side's level again. Hand pass forward towards Liam Flaherty. Punted ahead to Billy O'Shea. Set up that last point for Mike Hassett. Now for Liam Flaherty, running right through the Cork defence. Couldn't get his shot in. That a tribute to Niall Cahalane. As Maurice Fitzgerald can. Fitzgerald now with 2 points in the space of about 2 minutes, stretching Kerry's lead. And now a goal between the teams. Mark O'Sullivan's made a good run across, the substitute. Very first touch here against Morgan Nix. Into a cul-de-sac. Needs to release it, does so to Joe Kavanagh. Swung around, Kavanagh fisting it over. A point for Joe Kavanagh off the fist. but a point that was set up for him by Mark O'Sullivan. Winding up for the kick himself towards Mark O'Sullivan, between Sullivan and Nix, fisted down, and that's gone over the bar. And the point by Don Davis. The gap narrowed very considerably, just a point between the teams. Maurice Fitzgerald against Mark O'Connor. Little solo holding up the point of the attack, nicely forward, cleverly inside for Jeannie Farrell. Farrell picking off the score. That's a great point by Jeannie Farrell, his second. 2 shots at goal, 2 points for Jeannie Farrell. Running into 3 challenges. Stephen O'Brien feeding it outside to Brian Corcoran. Along the line it goes, close passing. Mark O'Connor up with the attack to the other Mark, Mark O'Sullivan, the first half substitute, looking for Cork's score, and he puts it over the bar. Cork's first score of the second half. Credited to Mark O'Connor. A great passing move right down the field, and just one between them. Driven deep, comes back here towards Bingo Driscoll, and Bingo's put it over the bar. A first point for the man from Onascall. And Kerry 1-7, Cork 9 points. Danny Cullity takes it down well. Don Davis, there's support from Liam Honohan. Cork needing a rapid response. Larry Tompkins having to amble after the poor pass. Seamus Moynihan confronting him. Into space, it's kicked. Don Davis knocking it over the bar. Consummate ease, his second point. It was a well-taken score. A moment of mental fortitude required for Colin Corkery. The kick looks good, it's over the bar. That's a 6th point. And the Red Army in Killarney savouring the moment that Cork go back in front again. Thanks to the thrusty shooting of Colin Corkery. Cork by a point. But this is anybody's match. Here's Danny Cullity, Larry calling for it. Danny Cullity punches it into the clear to Kieran O'Sullivan. Remember the point he got in the first half? Now think about the second one, he got to the second. 2 points for Kieran O'Sullivan. Flaherty's kick deep, and there waiting for it is the captain himself, the great rallying force, Niall Cahalane. Don Davis. The pass from Larry Tompkins initially to set him up. Players calling for it. Here's Don Davis. Another one. We may have said earlier on that he doesn't score an awful lot. Forget
the final
that.
score there, Cork 15 points, Kerry 1 goal and 9. In Clonus, Cavan were chasing their first Ulster title in 26 years. Tyrone were playing in their 5th Ulster final since 1983, and Peter Canavan was the name on most lips.
The little thought that went into that, not just the execution, but the thought is what made it. Riley sneaking in behind the defence. Good fetch by Kieran Corr, recovered from an Achilles problem or bit lower than that. Here's Kieran McBride outfielding the smaller John Donlan, and that's his first ever championship score in his first ever championship match. Kieran McBride from St Enda's Omagh. Knocked on by Connolly to Riley. Here's McCabe, Dermot McCabe coming in, bearing down on this Tyrone defence. He's in, and it's grabbed up by Finbar McConnell, and a free out for the keeper and for Tyrone. It's all run of the mill, bread and butter. In midfield, it's Stephen King with a marvellous fetch. Peter Riley, where's the Tyrone half-back line? Riley feeding it into Smith. Tommy Smith is in, here's the chance. And it just came off his toe just as he went to hit it. Back into the space to Ronan McGarrity. He gets away from Peter Riley. Good looking cross too. And dropped in there comes to Kieran McCabe. But defensively picked up by Stephen King, but only out as far as Sean McLaughlin. McLaughlin goes for it, McLaughlin gets it. He scored a point against Derry, and he scored one now. Goes on a little bumper ride between 2 Tyrone players. Stephen King lobbing it inside, looking for Fintan Cal. Good fetch by Cal, getting inside long. A replica of the Monaghan situation, except for the finish. Peter Riley from Knockbride, just a junior club. That's careless. Pascal Canavan, Kieran Corr, the captain, getting away from Bernard Morris. Jersey Poe getting inside. Here's the chance, goes for the punt score and takes it. Very good score by the captain, Kieran Corr, beating Bernard Morris for pace. That's Seamus McCallum with the fetch. Cavan have gone out of it in that midfield diamond. Looking down to Kieran McBride again. McBride inside to the fast rating Stephen Long. And Stephen Long puts it over the bar. And now 4 of the Tyrone forwards have scored. Good play by Corr. Good, confident fetch. A run, a hold, and most important of all, a look up. Finds Canavan. He ain't no giant in stature, but he very much is a football giant. That's a wonderful score, because Canavan had to get possession the hard way against taller men. Nearest us there is Donald Donoghue, in the middle Mickey Riley, and then Mark McHugh. They're in conference. Somebody get ready. That's the word from Mark McHugh. We'll keep an eye on it. It's Seamus McCallum for Tyrone. Here's the centre half back. Where is there a marker? It's a point. And that's almost unpardonable for Cavan. Both sides restarting as they finish. The number 18 for Cavan is Fergal Horton from Ghana. And they really have a bit of a mountain to climb. Can Peter Riley lift them? Peter Riley to Fergal Horton. Horton over to Fintan Cahill. Fintan Cahill to Dermot McCabe. And that's just the start the Cavan doctor ordered. John Donlan Cavan. Tommy Smith beaten under the challenge, and here come Tyrone. It's Peter Canavan taking the pass from his brother and going left-footed and going over the bar. This man is indeed a special commodity. The loose ball to the benefit of Kieran Corr, the Tyrone captain. Nice to see him back in full flow again after a season of injury. Kieran Loughran, Tyrone. Nearest Cavan player, John Donnellan. Oh, that's great play by Loughran. Now can finish it off. Well, there's the answer. It's straight between the white posts. A very good individual score by Kieran Loughran. McCavan, the number 20, is forward. Now King. And then McCabe, and it's over the latch. And Cavan are not ready to be buried yet, as they've waited so long. When Cavan last won the Ulster Championship, Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon, 1969. Here's Fergal Logan for Tyrone. Tyrone and McGarrity. Tyrone in search of their 7th Ulster title. Cavan in pursuit of their 39th. It's Adrian Cush. The little one through to Medlinan. O'Dowd's committed himself. There's a brilliant goal. A wonderful goal with Matty Medlinan postmarked all over it. Medlinan has made a specialty of that. The flicked box score. That was wonderful. Absolutely Matty Medlinan special.
Yes, an inspired substitution. Adrian Cush, a beautifully true ball. Matty McLean running on, showed tremendous courage. The goalkeeper came a bit late. McLean's strength vital. Goal and probably game over. Well, it certainly looks like Tyrone's game now. They've controlled it for long periods. And as I said earlier, they failed to put Cavan away. But Matty McLean's goal apparently has done that. And they're just coasting it now.
Stephen Lawn, and McLean's inside. Lawn's going for his own score. And he's got it. And that surely is the policy maturing. That's the insurance. They cannot wait to get on to acclaim their heroes. They only have seconds to go. Only seconds. Stephen Long looking inside here for the finishing score, the glamour score. It's Adrian Cush. The crowd thought it was over, as Kenneth Wolstenholme once said. It certainly is now. I presume the full-time whistle is gone, and I'll tell you this much, ladies and gentlemen, it makes no difference whether it has or not. This game is over.
So we now knew 3 of the All-Ireland semi-finalists in the Bank of Ireland Championship: Tyrone, Cork and Galway. The following Sunday, the 30th of July, Leinster had the day to themselves. And as always, the meeting of Dublin and Meath was a major attraction. Between them, they had dominated the Leinster Championship for a decade and more. On the day, Dublin were at their best.
I think looking back, maybe the players didn't really believe that we could give Meath such a hiding. But I mean, we pulled away again in the last 20 minutes. I mean, it was very, very close up to that, and I think it was the first Meath-Dublin game that I've played in that I could relax in the last 5 minutes and enjoy it.
And it's 35-year-old Pat Casserly, the referee, getting the match underway. Meath into a first attack here with John McDermott. They won the toss, played with the breeze in the first 35 minutes. Chance here for Jody Devine to take a point in the very first attack, and that after 15 seconds. Happily recovered from the earlier injury, fouled by PJ Gaelic. Dessie Farrell now in on the end line, marshalled there by Cormac Murphy, brushed aside however. Inside beautifully, Galvin over the bar, boxed over the bar by Mick Galvin. Dessie Farrell kicks it. Where's it going? It's going straight between the posts. A wonderful kick by the man from Nafiana, who's also a very accomplished hockey player. 5 points to 2, Dublin lead.
Dublin are harassing and they're putting pressure on the Meath players all the time.
And also it seems to me playing better as a unit. They've got a togetherness. As we watch Charlie Redmond for once going to top of the right, nicely pumped inside. Sherlock's down on it. Here it comes to Jim Gavin. And Gavin fists it, and Conor Martin watches it set over the bar. Gavin's first point, he'll be delighted with that. There's a 13-metre penalty that's been used about the 3rd time in this match. Into space, here's Dessie Farrell. Can he get away from Cormac Murphy? Murphy puts out the left leg, but it's Dessie Farrell on his way. A player down inside, Farrell kicking, and that's bounced off the crossbar and it's gone over the bar. A second point for Dessie Farrell. Free kick to Dublin. It's been their half. They lead by 4 points. And the marking is wretched again as Paul Beelan kicks it. Well, it was a really ambitious one. Two Meath defenders to Jason Sherlock, whose finishing left a lot to be desired. But it's bounced down here. It may yet cause a problem or two. Martin O'Connell. It comes back here to Sherlock. And this time he pops it over the bar. Good point by Jason Sherlock. Breaking ball favouring Paul Curran. This is a great run forward. He can take a point here. And he does so. Paul Curran. The breaking ball favoured him. He ran a good 20 metres and made a fine score in response to the Meath point just a few seconds ago. Lovely part of the Meath team some time ago, but it's in. Here's a great chance. And a goal! Evan Kelly from Drumree, the goal scorer. In the 7th minute of the second half, the sides are all tied up. What do we say about a goal from Meath? Bang on cue. Jody Devine wants to get the pass outside, does so in the end to Brendan Riley. Riley trying to take it by Paul Curran. Now Graham Geraghty. There's a point here. It's high. Is it accurate enough? Yes, it is. Graham Geraghty's kick producing a point. And it's Meath who'll go in front. Jody Devine trying to get away from Paul Curran. Curran wins that individual battle. Held back there by Colin Brady. Free kick to Dublin. Taken smartly, quickly. On to Paul Clark. Clark looking up at the target. Trying to sum up his options, going for the score. It was the right thing to do. Between the posts, Paul Clark's first point. And each and every one of the Dublin half-forwards has now scored. Charlie Redmond racing away from the challenge there of Enda McManus. Charlie, head down, full of commitment, knowing what he's about to do, kicking the point. That's a wonderful score. A really good individual point by Charlie Redmond. Dublin leading by 2 points. Inside by Dessie Farrell to Vinnie Murphy once again. Really wants to make an impact. Paul Curran holding it up into Charlie Redmond. Redmond's ambitious kick across. It's a great ball across. And it's over the bar by Paul Clark. The quality of the pass in there. And Dublin might well have had a goal. They certainly have the space. Clark's second point taken down by a confident Paddy Moran. Spills loose, but he regains composure and possession. Graham Geraghty watches it go over his head. On it goes to Vinnie Murphy. There's space inside. It's 1 against 1. Jason Sherlock against Colin Coyle. Sherlock really half hit that one. But it's Paul Clark who's in fisting. Oh! And it's a goal! It's a goal for Dublin! Paul Clark, the goal scorer! In the 24th minute of the second half, Dublin suddenly open up a 6-point lead. There was so much space in front of goal. It was between Sherlock and Coyle. And when Sherlock hit it, it came down. But watch for Paul Clark responding quickly. There he was, in there challenging, and he fists it into the back of the net. John O'Leary's kick out. Dublin were winning the exchanges in the first half at midfield, and this time with a broken ball, they're in very quickly again to profit through Paul Curran. Will he pop it over the bar? He's trying to, and he's done it. A wonderful kick again by Paul Curran. Runs on towards Dessie Farrell. Jersey well and truly tested by Graham Geraghty, but this is a great spell here. Dessie Farrell, 2 points so far, looking for another one, and that's straight over the bar. Almost inside the last minute. Geraghty gifts it to Paul Beelan. And Dublin on their way to the All-Ireland semi-final, and Jason Sherlock, one of their stars. This time he has it right, and this time he has his second point. That'll do nicely.
For warm, hot and humid weather, it was one of the best summers on record, and one of the warmest of all the days was that on which Galway met Tyrone in the All-Ireland semi-final. Galway made mockery of their outsider odds for most of the first half.
He's got the height and he's got the ball and he got the point. The first one of the All-Ireland semi-final to Dickie McBride. Hey Devil makes a present of it to Fergal Gavin. Gavin gives it to Alan Mulholland. Mulholland looks outside for Finnegan. He's through. Well covered back by Paul Devlin. Finnegan turns, looks for Galway's first score and gets it. There's Fergal Gavin. Gavin to Finnegan. Finnegan to the right half back. Ray Silk. There's a points chant here for Galway. And he's taken it. Good score. Well built up. Jody Gormley makes the foul. Val Daly makes the pass. Fergal O'Neill, who's running right across the whole full forward line and getting great possession. 18 minutes gone in the game. Jarlath Fallon looks for target, and it's a great score by Fallon. And Galway are playing really well. They must be feeling now, some of those subs, that they'll get a run in this game. It's 15 minutes to half time as Val Daly sets it up for Neil Finnegan. He to Fergal Gavin. Gavin back to Tommy Wilson. They're making the space, they're making the extra man, and they're making life awfully difficult for the champions of Ulster. Fahy, now it's Silk again. Off the hands of Mulholland to McCallan. McCallan to Canavan. Lovely dummy, chance of a score. Pascal Canavan. And a combination of keeper and crossbar, but it's now out with Kieran McBride. Peter Ronan McGarry. This is a spurt by Tyrone. Looking for Peter Canavan, got a touch to it, and a stop right on the line. But the flag has gone up, it's a goal. It is a goal. 4 minutes to half time as Alan Mulholland feeds Val Daly. Daly to Finnegan. He's in with a chance. Good play, and again, significantly, Val Daly as the focal point. Kieran Corrin possession. Matty McLean's gone so deep, he was on the half-back line. Pascal Canavan to brother Peter. This is a different Tyrone. The second half specialist of the 95 championship. And Canavan has put it over the bar again. Remember, in the Ulster semi-final, they were 3 points down to Derry, and they came out and won the match. Over 37,000 people watching this Bank of Ireland championship game. And here's Adrian Cush's first chance to impress. Getting away from
John Kilrain. Feeding Peter Canavan. Canavan turning Fahy to 2 feet. What an advantage it is to a footballer, being able to kick with both feet well. That is one of the greatest assets in the game. Canavan has put it over the bar 4 times and under it 1 time. Loughlin driving it right in there. Medlean goes for it. Diggy McBride has it to Peter Canavan again. And he's now scored 4 points in the second half to lift Tyrone, lift the spirits of the fans. Here's Kieran McBride. Canavan goes for it again. He's got the help from Cush. It's now back to the left half back, Sean McLaughlin. And he's done what he's done before. Twice in the championship, he's knocked it over the bar. And there aren't many wing-backs in captivity who have scored a point in 3 different championship games in the same year. Kieran McBride here with Kevin Fallon. Lays it off to Medlean. A measured kick by Matty Medlean. A great point. Wonderful point by Medlean. 13 points, plays 11. Galway back in the game. Lofted in and lofted over the bar by the reliable Val Daly. Now only 1 point separates them. Adrian Cush onto it. Johnny Kilrain is the Galway player nearest. All Cush needs to do is hold. Don't give it away. What a hold, what a finish, and what a score by an absolutely superb player. Adrian Cush again to Matty Medlean. The 3 points ahead Tyrone. This could be an insurance.
Final score 113 to 0-13, putting Tyrone into the All-Ireland final for only the 2nd time in their history. 1 week later, Dublin and Cork were top of the bill. Who'd win the shootout between Charlie Redmond and Colin Corkery? How would Cork in general, and Mark O'Connor in particular, handle the Jason Sherlock threat? This is how it evolved.
Cork are a good squad. They've been thereabouts for the last couple of years. They've come out of Munster for the last 3 years. And they got off to a great start. We just couldn't lift ourselves. And then, you know what happened, Jason stuck the ball in the back of the net and everything changed. And they just couldn't get back after that.
I know I wouldn't like to be a fullback thinking of marking him in any game. It's going to be instant pressure. His turn of speed is fantastic, and his vision, you know, for players around him, and his availability. He actually knows where he wants the ball, and it's very easy then to see and deliver the ball to him because he runs into space all the time.
Out to Brian Steins, Paul Curran, Paddy Moore. Came over the hands of Charlie Redmond, and Mark O'Connor is back before Sherlock. Great play by the Cork fullback, and that raises the spirits of the whole Cork fan club. Great play by the fullback. Liam Honohan looks down for Mark O'Sullivan, turns Keith Galvin, looks for his score. That's a wonderful point, his first ever point in All-Ireland senior football. Mark O'Sullivan, and the first score from play. Keith Barr, there's a foul earlier on, has been taken quickly. Pat McEnany says yes, let's go. It's Sherlock, he's in, he's away from O'Connor, and he's finished. A little piece of Jason magic. It's got to be said for the little man that give him a smell of goal, and he is deadly. Here's Charlie Redmond. Only 2 scorers in the Dublin side, only 2 scorers in the Cork side. Charlie Redmond's got 2 points up to now, and the sentence finishes by telling her he's now got 3. Charlie Redmond, a fireman by day and night, and an excellent scorer by mid-afternoon for the Dubs. Joe Kavanagh runs into the shoulder charge from Brian Steins. Out to Mark O'Sullivan. Sullivan faced by Keith Galvin. Sullivan coming in, has a go, and it's over the bar. And here's a young man who has certainly enjoyed
his first taste of this level of football at Croke Park. And 35 minutes on the schedule to decide who goes forward to meet Tyrone on September the 17th for the Sam Maguire Cup. This is Brian Steins of Dublin. Keith Barr. Barr for Charlie Redmond, his clubmate. The interception by Mark Farr. This is Desi Farrell. Runs across McGalvin. Galvin presents himself then for the shot at goal. And that's a magnet score. Well made, well thought out, and good running off the ball by Galvin made the chance. Joe Kavanagh, Dermot Deasy, the Dublin defender. Kavanagh's a good left foot. Dublin closed down that avenue. Mark O'Sullivan, beautifully taken by Mick Deegan, and had the confidence to give it to his goalkeeper behind him, something you wouldn't have seen in football 20 years ago. Mick Deegan to Paul Curran. What a great player Paul Curran is, and has been for a long time. Down to Mick Galvin. Paul Clark. Dublin playing now at the start of the second half, the way they played against Meath in the Leinster final, pushing, imposing their will upon the game. As Kevin O'Dwyer kicks out, Brian Steins goes highest. Now Stephen O'Brien. To Niall Cahalan, the captain, the skipper, leads his troops to Larry Tompkins. Has a look up, goes for it. That's Larry of old, a wonderful point. Tompkins, Larry Tompkins looking inside for Mark O'Sullivan, drops down to Joe Kavanagh, he's in, and John O'Leary spreads himself brilliantly. Fine save by O'Leary, and Tompkins is playing now. Like as I said when he scored the point, the Tompkins of old. It's Mark O'Sullivan here for Cork. Into Joe Kavanagh, looks for the black spot, it's over it. A point scored by Kavanagh and inspired by Tompkins. Dublin respond. Mark O'Connor bats it away from Jason Sherlock. Jim Gavin gives it back to Sherlock. He's so elusive. Mick Galvin is in possession. Score on here. Yes, Mick Galvin takes it, his second point of the game. That one with the final assist from Jason Sherlock. Well fetched again by Brian Steins. He's pulled down some great ball in this match. Out to Mick Deegan. Don Davis is the nearest Cork player. This is now at Charlie Redmond. He to Mick Galvin. He's got 2 points already. About to make it 3. Good performance by Galvin. He was doubtful before the game. Al Cahalan. Here's Pat Gilroy taking the present away from Honohan. And this is the turning point maybe in the second half. Mick Galvin over the bar. Good, sensible score. And what a contribution today from Galvin. Often unsung and underrated. And it's looking like Tyrone and Dublin for the Sam Maguire Cup. Mark O'Connor, the Cork fullback, on the run. He's fouled. Referee lets him play it quickly to Larry Tompkins. Can Tompkins bring Cork back into it? It's over the bar, which leaves just a goal between the sides. I think it's all over. Yes, it is all over. And Dublin have qualified for the All-Ireland final by one single goal. 1 goal and 12 points to no goals and 12 points. An absorbing match.
And at one stage we were 4 points to 1 down, and then we got the goal. And from the time we got the goal, we settled down and played much better ball into the forward line. And from then on, we dominated the game. But yeah, the signs weren't good in the first 10-15 minutes.
Then came the goal.
Well, the goal, yeah. I mean, it's been much talked about. Very, very clever free by Keith Barr. Jason just got out in front, as he had been doing, all season, but just turned into Mark O'Connor, and he just Mark slipped and he was gone by him, and he actually lost the ball on the solo, but then got it back and stuck it away very, very well.
17th of September was All-Ireland final day in 1995, and for certain a remarkable sequence would be continued. If Tyrone won it, it would be 5 in a row victories for Ulster counties, and if Dublin won it, it would be 5 in a row for counties with the initial letter D.
Yeah, Peter Canavan, I mean, a little bit like Mickey Lynn the last year, was the player we're going to have to watch, and he played great stuff all season. But we just decided, secret to, defending against a player like Peter Canavan was cut off to supply outfield, and there was huge pressure on our half forwards, half backs, and the midfield, obviously, to win the ball and cut off that supply. So it afforded, particularly our full back line to play, in front of men and force them to, become look for the ball and upset our style of play, because Tyrone were playing more or less a two-man front line. But at the end of the day, for Peter Canavan and Kieran McBride, was they had the space in front of them at times, but just the ball wasn't coming into it, and which makes the job for the full back line much easier. But a lot of the work was being done outfield.
Today, John O'Leary, leading the Dublin team in this parade, plays his 66th consecutive championship game, a record, and he captains this team. Let's now have a look at the Dublin lineup that starts the 1995 All-Ireland final. Kieran Walsh, missing last year, in for his final place because of injury to regular fullback Dermot Deasy. Paddy Moran is listed at number 3, but who will mark Peter Canavan? Otherwise, the Dublin team is the usual shape. Top scorer Charlie Redmond, doubtful all week, 30 points from 4 championship games this year, and the much hyped Jason Sherlock has scored 2 goals and 3 points. Tyrone have broken away from the parade. They have not paraded around the hill, and that has not gone down too well with the Dublin supporters on the hill. They've broken away, gone into the other half of the field, and Dublin parade alone. Most unusual. Let's check on the Tyrone team that starts the game. They start unchanged from the team that beat Galway 5 weeks ago. Scorer-in-chief for Tyrone, number 14, Peter Canavan, who has won 3 Man of the Match awards in 4 championship games and has scored 1 goal, 27 points. 10 of this Tyrone team have been on the score sheet, all the forwards, both midfielders and 2 of the half-backs. And for substantial backup, they've got 2 goals and 5 points worth of talent on the bench. Matty Medlinan, and despite what we heard at the top of the programme, Adrian Cush. I still think if things are going badly for Tyrone, pain or no pain, Adrian Cush will play in this All-Ireland final. And we're about ready for the final of 1995. It's on. First free to Dublin. Jason Sherlock knocked down the defender. And here is the most familiar number 14 in the world of Gaelic football. Right in front of the hill. And Peter Canavan starts the All-Ireland final where he's finished all the other games. Peter McGrath.
Just to start that Tyrone needed, and indeed in these opening exchanges Dublin are looking the more nervous team. Great work again by Kieran McBride to win possession, and Peter Canavan easily slotted over first point. Great start for Tyrone.
Paddy Moran marking Kieran McBride, Kieran Walsh on Canavan, and Keith Galvin's been left with Stephen Lawn. This is Keith Galvin. Good block on it by Lawn, one of the twins from Ballinamona, Moortown. McDeegan. Looking down there for Desi Farr. Lovely piece of fielding in there by Seamus McCallum. Comes off the feet of Paddy Moran. In goes Kieran Loughran. Down to Stephen Lawn. Pushed to the ground by Keith Galvin. Hauled to the ground by Keith Galvin. Free kick just inside the 45-metre line. And the message goes out to Peter Canavan. Now, what are the conditions like at Croke Park? Well, there's not much of a breeze. There is a slight change here. Canavan is kicking this from ground. Cools down, takes a deep breath. Peter Canavan, one of the great forwards of modern football or any football. That was Loughran, back to Fergal Logan. Looks up the line for McBride. Back into Fergal Logan again. Chasing player back is Jim Gavin for Dublin. Breaks out here to Peter Canavan. He can solo at either foot. He looks for the opening. Gives it to Jody Gormley. It's brilliant football by Tyrone. Brilliant football by Tyrone. The finish by Jody Gormley. But the maker, Canavan again. Keith is one of the best long-range kickers of a ball in football. This is quite a distance out, 60 metres. That's beautifully struck. That's a wonderful point by Barr. There's no better long ball kicker in the game. And now, Charlie Redmond. How bad is the leg? If you do that well with an injured leg, there are dozens of men around this country who would love to have injured legs. Pat O'Neill won All-Ireland with Dublin, of course, and a great half-back line of 1976-77. Paul Clarke. Obviously Charlie Redmond's not up to the longer ones today. And this is Paul Clarke, just inside 45, nicely struck with real authority. Very good point indeed by Paul Clarke. Very good score. 14 minutes gone in the first half at Croke Park. The sides are level. 3 points apiece. Keith Barr with the free kick. Cross to Desi Farrell. Has he got the angle right? Yes, he has. That's a great point off his left leg by Desi Farrell, and Dublin have the lead. Rising high, Kieran Corr, and he gets it too. And he'll have to battle again for it. But here's Paul Clarke for Dublin. Cross the 45-metre line. Looks inside. What's he got on? He's got Sherlock nicking in behind the defence. Paul Devlin goes for it. And Redmond trying to get inside. Back to Sherlock. Bullet of a drive from Jason Sherlock. He's looking for a 45. But he ain't going to get it.
I thought the ball did take a touch there from a Tyrone defender. We will see now in the replay as Charlie burrows his way through. Lays it back very... Possibly not, no. Just wide.
Another fine kick by McConnell. Fine fetch by the skipper, Kieran Corr. Down to Peter Canavan. Held up by Kieran Walsh. And fouling Canavan 35 metres from your own goal is a bit akin to walking up to the scoreboard and sticking down a point. Canavan looking for the equaliser. 18 minutes gone. It'll be a question on the quiz shows in years to come. When did Peter Canavan last miss a free kick? That is a trip. This is Desi Farrell. That's over the black spot, and the white flag is raised. Peter Canavan will take the free, need we say, and one more time he's taking it from ground. Aiming at the far post, no doubt. And there you have it. Peter Canavan has scored 4 points and 3 of them off the ground today. Paul Curran. Little push on the back, it would appear. Mick Galvin on it. Ronan McGarity here for Tyrone. Kieran Corr. Paul Beelan's jump, down without ball. Kieran Loughran Tyrone has a look up. He's a good man to hold it and buy a little bit of time, but he's up against a good one. Paul Curran. Curran to Jim Gavin. Des Farrell has time, has space, and has the accuracy to match it. Desi Farrell puts Dublin ahead. It's 6-5.
That man Farrell again. Great work by Paul Curran, giving the ball down the line. And great pass inside. And Farrell measures the distance and strikes the ball very, very confidently.
Here's a man who's gone through a whale of work for Tyrone, is Fergal Logan. He to Seamus McCallum. Again is Paul Curran. Curran playing a mighty game for Dublin. To Beelan. Galvin. Now it's Jason Sherlock, 1-on-1 with Big McConville. Got the touch all right, and it's in the net. It's a goal for Dublin. Charlie Redmond. Sore leg or no sore leg? But interestingly enough, Charlie Redmond limped badly away from that incident. It was Jason Sherlock 1-on-1 with McConville.
Sherlock did all the good work here. He was very brave going in here, managed to slip it through. McConnell wasn't given much cover. His full back line was nowhere, and certainly from that distance Charlie couldn't possibly miss. They've taken in Matt McGlean and probably done the right thing, because it'll give him the feel of the game in the last couple of minutes before half-time.
The arrival of McGlean at corner forward means that Stephen Long has gone officially to left half forward. Does some of his best work anyway. It's coming from deep. Clark. What a match this man's having. He's absolutely brilliant today. Paul Curran. If they were giving the man of the match award at this moment, there'd be no contest.
He is so good at coming forward. He's such a fine athlete. He's always so fit, and he ran into the space there, went up the field, leaving people in his wake, and struck the ball so confidently.
2 minutes to half-time. The line that Peter Canavan stands upon is the 21-metre line. And he puts it over the bar for what is his 5th point of the game, to reduce it 1-7 to 6 points.
It's a point that Tyrone needed, really, as we approach the half-time break. Dublin have been playing confidently now for this past 10 minutes, but if Tyrone can keep pegging away and keep in touch, then that's the main thing at this stage for them.
Well boxed by Jody Gormley to Kieran Corr. Corr looking for Canavan. Canavan's layoff. It's a good one. Now it's Stephen Lawn. Jody Gormley just behind him. With Kieran Walsh with the rob. Up to Sherlock. Chris Lawn, the nearest defender. Sherlock looking inside for Farrell. Desi Farrell. Jim Gavin. Over the bar. Point for Dublin and for Jim Gavin, the airline pilot. In the side because he works and works, Peter. That's why they have him, but he can score as well.
He can, of course, and he took that particularly well, but the score really came from the fact that further up the field, Stephen Lawn lost possession, Dublin counter-attacked, and Tyrone are punished very, very severely.
Pascal Canavan, Kieran McBride. Got a fair deal of ball today, hasn't scored yet though. "35 minutes have elapsed. McBride feeling the rigours of big match day. Paddy Moran could be wearing that 13 shirt, he's so close to him so often. That's it. We'll have no more in the half. Dublin have scored a goal at 8 points. Tyrone have scored 6 points. It's a bit of a deficit to haul back for Tyrone. But for Tyrone fans all over the world, watching and listening, may we remind you of the Ulster semi-final. Not alone were the points down, they were men down, and they came back for victory. Looking we are now for the first score of the second half. And apart from the value of the points, psychologically, this is a very important moment for Canovin and Tyrone. And the man is equal to the demands put upon him. And now it's 1-8 to 7. 4 points between them.
As you say, a very important score for Tyrone, and I feel that the Dublin full back line is weak, and if Tyrone can get the ball in there earlier and more often, then I think they still have a great chance.
It was one in the air there by Beelan, played back to Deegan, shoved upfield by Dublin, but they can't get anything out of it. And here come Tyrone coming back into it. McGarrity playing it out to Canovin. Canovin feeding it into Kieran Corey's captain. Back to Canovin, shooting chance. Peter Canovin. His 7th point of the All-Ireland final. One goal between the sides. Remarkable. We've said it so often, and we'll say it again. Peter Canovin has now scored 8 points for Tyrone in this All-Ireland final. Big stakes. Curran to Deegan. Deegan to Sherlock. Sherlock to Clark. Nearest player is McLaughlin. Paul Clark's cross. Desi Farrell has it. Getting away from McCallum. It's a wonderful point by Desi Farrell. His 4th of the match. He's had a very good 1995, Des Farrell. And the Hill just love him. Paul Curran. Thomas Davis Club, Tala in Dublin. Up between Sherlock and Lawn. Charlie Redmond and Fergal Logan in a bit of a clash.
Both sets of players now realise that they're into the last 35 minutes of the championship, everything at stake, with the result that tempers are just freeing a little bit.
Paul Devlin. Paul Devlin looks to be heading for the line. He's gone. And I think Charlie's going. No, Paul Devlin is not gone. Now what's going on here? It looks like Charlie Redmond is being sent off. Yes, he is. Charlie Redmond has been sent off to fill his cup of woe completely full. The man whose penalty miss in last year's All-Ireland final may have turned the match. But isn't it remarkable how long it is since the name Peter Canovin was mentioned? Tyrone have simply been unable to get ball into him. Here's Paul Devlin with Jason Sherlock. Sherlock now has to go after Lawn. Batted down by Curran to Beelan. Inside to Farrell. Looking inside for Sherlock. But that was certainly Mutt and Jeff there, all right. Finbar McConnell out to Paul Donnelly. Donnelly Tyrone. Draws in Paul Clark. Good run this by Donnelly. Runs into the challenge from Pat Gilroy. The move is carried on by Kieran Corr. And Corr is floored. Great piece of play by Paul Donnelly to initiate that Tyrone attack. Donnelly in this sort of humour could lift the whole team, Peter.
Yes, indeed he could. He is a player with a great awareness. And he made a great run there. Corr then made a great run. Resultant free. And a chance for Canovin.
Peter Canovin. Yet another one. 9 points in this All-Ireland final for Peter Canovin. The record individual score in the final is 2 goals and 6 points. Nick Deegan. Keith Barr. Paul Clark.
Tyrone have backpedaled. Big one from Clark and a great point. A wonderful point by Paul Clark. Referee sorting out Curran, Moran and McBride. And Canavan puts it over the bar. He scored 5 points in the first half and he's now scored 5 points in the second half. Paul Curran's clearance into the hands of Ronan McGarity, the engineer at right back for Tyrone. Pascal Canavan, Jody Gormley, Peter Canavan, Brian Gormley runs into a sandwich, gets it back again to Ronan McGarity, drops it in along by John O'Leary. It's a free out. It's a free out. Does he know that time is up? Is a point good enough? Will he lob it in the square and try and manufacture a goal? It's over the bar. Canavan has done it again. 11 points for him in the final. He's only 1 point away from the individual scoring record. Gets it up to Kieran Corr, the Tyrone captain, faced by Keith Barr, across the face of the goal. John O'Leary gets a hand to it. Here's Peter Canavan. It's touched it on the ground. That is not a score. No score. No score. Keith Barr's kick out. Referee's blowing. The referee has blown, and Dublin are the All-Ireland champions. A very competitive game, and Dublin win it by a single point. A single point at the end. When the Tyrone people are looking back on the match, they'll ponder this fact. They were only 1 point away from Dublin on the final score, but only 2 Tyrone men scored. One of them got 11 of the points. Final score, Dublin 1 goal and 10 points, Tyrone no goals and 12. Sam is back in the capital.
I thought it was a draw actually, because I thought I hadn't seen the referee's indications that there had been a foul. I mean, I felt there had been a foul, but I felt it hadn't been given. And I saw the ball bouncing off the 2 uprights and over onto the back of the net. And as the final whistle went, I assumed that it was a draw, and started walking from across the pitch. Had taken about 5 yards when I was swept off my feet by Fran Ryder. And I said, "Back and choose again, Fran." He says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "We won."
As I came through the court, my father was in the middle of this crowd, and I couldn't believe it. And he was there on his own, and with a bit of a tear in his eye. But like, I've never seen him cry before, and he had a tear in his eye, and I started crying. I said, "Oh, good luck, here we go." And he got me in a bear hug now, which was unbelievable. And the sensation of that was just incredible. Actually, that he was there straight away, and he was so emotional about the whole thing. That will definitely stick in my mind now for forever, you know. It was a great feeling.
Walking off the pitch, I got this tap on the shoulder, and it was John O'Leary. And he said to me, "Do you remember the deal we made?" And I said, "No, John, what was that?" He said, "Do you not remember at the start of the year I said, if we win the Sam Maguire, myself and yourself will lift the cup." So he said, "Come on up the steps." So I was delighted to lift the cup. I'm sure a lot of people were wondering what I was doing up there lifting the cup with the captain. So that's the story.
The Bank of Ireland Football Championship is won by Dublin. Biddy Early is resting happy in the heavens with Biddy Mulligan. Dublin take a 22nd title.
'92 to get to a final, and you hope on first one, you know, first final, first medal. That wasn't the case. And then each year then there was more work put in and more effort by the players and by the background team. And you said, right, last year it couldn't get any better, and they like downbeat us. And you'd often wonder, like, when you take up training again in January and February, like, can you put any more work in? Can you sacrifice any more time from work and from family? Can you go through the rigours of training again and do it harder? And you often wonder, can you do it? But you know, this year, you know, everything just fell into place.
Well, now you know the answer.
I know the answer. I know what you have to do to win one.
There was a much better resolve amongst the players that this was going to be our year. And I think if we had lost last Sunday, a lot of players might have had enough. Fellas like Charlie, Dermot Deasy, Mick Galvin, John O'Leary even. But having won the title, they're going to stay on. They're going to enjoy the league and get back into it for 96.
It was just unreal. Like to see a sea of blue, and like you've seen on telly with the World Cup team coming home, but you never thought you're going to see the sea of blue and up the Dubs and JO signs everywhere and banners. We got on the coach and we thought like everything would break up and move on and that, you know, the crowds would disperse. But when you could come down Westmoreland Street and onto O'Connell Bridge and you just lean over the edge of the bus to look down O'Connell Street to see the whole street absolutely jam-packed, chock-a-block. It was just, it was very moving, it was super.
I suppose everybody knows by now that teams are not just the team that plays on the field of play, nor indeed the manager. It's the masseurs, the managers, the coaches.
Well, you have to have it if you want to win, and as you saw, we just about won. And I think the success of the northern teams, the Ulster teams over the last number of years has been based on a similar type of background.
Memories will fade about exactly what happened, who scored what and what happened, but I remember that Dublin won the All-Ireland. And when you've trained from the middle of January to September, I mean, we are the players, the game evolves the way the game evolves on the day. You can't plan it, and it just happened that way, and it doesn't really concern, you know, any Dublin players. Possibly Tyrone, if they'd won it by a point at the end of the day, you know, what way the game went. You know, you're up there collecting the cup, and that's really all that matters.
I think the goals that Jason Sherlock was involved in were the most indelible things that are imprinted on my mind. I mean, the one against Laois and the one against the Cork one, and his contribution to the one last Sunday, the one that Charlie got. I mean, they're the very striking memories. But I mean, there was a lot of other incidents. I mean, the great saves of John O'Leary. I mean, there were some tremendous saves. The runs and the attacking probes of Paul Kern. Some of the great scores that Mick Galvin and Paul Clark got in the